Welcome to the Empowerment Hour, a podcast dedicated to the woman ready to take charge of her life, live in her purpose, and be unapologetically authentic. I am your host, Nancy Ruffin, award-winning author, mommypreneur, and the self-proclaimed Latina Oprah who is dedicated to helping women unleash their power, discover their purpose, and live up to their fullest potential. My goal is to empower you, inspire you, and help you unlock your passions and discover your purpose so that you live the most fulfilled and impassioned life. If you're ready to make a change and start living on purpose, then you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to another week of the Empowerment Hour podcast. Thank you for rocking with me, for joining me for another week. I always look forward to the nights when I get to record the podcast and really get to connect with you all on a different level. This week in particular, I really want us to delve into the topic of work and what that means for us and how we show up in our daily lives. Ready to work towards our goals, towards our dreams, just ready to go for the things that we say that we want, the things that we tell ourselves that we're going to go after. Because I think that sometimes we may think we're working hard, but we're really not. Before we kind of get into the topic, I really just want to touch base with you all about some of the things that have been going on during the week and things that have been happening in my life. I've been super busy just with my own projects. I recently got hired to write an about me section or like a biography for this individual who has recently started their own business, and one of the things that I struggled with when I was trying to write this, because they sent me a ton of things on how they describe themselves. They sent a resume, they sent just what they believe themselves to be. And so for me, when I'm writing a biography, or when I'm writing like a bio or an about me section on something, I really like to center it around the mission and vision of the company or the person. And so when I asked this individual if they had the vision and mission for their company, not surprisingly, they did not. And I think that this is a big mistake that many of us make when we decide to go into business for ourselves. We get so excited on the prospect of becoming entrepreneurs, and we're eager to start the business, that we don't put enough time and thought behind the foundation, right? And so you can have great ideas and you can have a plan to execute that. But if you don't build the foundation, if you don't set the groundwork on your business and the reason why you're doing business, then you're eventually going to fail. And the reason that I say that is because your mission and your vision is what's going to keep you grounded. And it's what's going to make sure that you don't veer off into another lane. Because when you find yourself doing that, if you have a solid mission and vision for yourself and for your company, you can always come back to that to help you get centered and to help you get back on the right track. So I tried to pull some basic information from this person in regards to why they started the business, what their purpose was. And so I tried to use some of that in creating, that bio for them. But when I was speaking to this individual, I said you really need to spend some time on crafting a solid vision and mission statement if you're really serious about your business. Because if you're not, then you're not going to last very long. And I say this to all of you because many of you who listen to my podcast, many of you who follow my work, are individuals who are taking the entrepreneurial role, who are trying to expand on your talents and your gifts. And so you're out there and you may be branding yourself as a business, but you too have to be very clear on why you do what you do. What is the purpose that you're serving? What is the problem that your services seeks to solve? So these are some things that you really should be clear on before you even attempt to start business. You have to lay the foundation. You have to put in, you have to do the hard work, the groundwork, the things that are not as exciting or as flashy, because sitting and thinking about these things, it's not fun, but it's really necessary. So if you're a person who has gone into business for yourself, or if you're thinking about going into business for yourself, please be clear on your mission. What is your vision? And then you're going to build your business around that. And then that's going to be the compass that you follow, to build your business. So just something for you guys to think about. I really want to talk or mention briefly two individuals, or rather three, who I've connected with via Instagram, who I don't personally know. But, I believe that the universe puts the people in our lives that are supposed to, be in our lives. When you're on a certain journey, the appropriate people, things show up, the right doors open, you make the right connections, right? As soon as you get clear on who you are and what you want to do. In any case, a while ago, I got connected to this young woman. I believe she used to live in Texas. I think she now resides in Phoenix because she is a real life basketball wife, right? So it's not like what we see on TV, but she is married to a coach. He coaches one of these, I think, NBA teams. But I've been following her for quite some time. We've been connected. We're friendly on Instagram. And she wrote a book a while ago, and I recently purchased it. And I received it today in the mail. So I was really, really excited when I got it because her path, from what I can tell, based on her social media feed and her blogs, because I've read some of the things that she's written, she's really been able to kind of transform her life. And what I mean is that, like, her book, let me get the title here for you. Her name is Erica Ellis, by the way. You can connect with her on Instagram at Erica Ellis, ERICKAELLIS. And she wrote this book, Misguided by Love, Redirected by Faith, My Journey to Freedom. And what I can surmise from the synopsis of the book is that she talks about all of the baggage that we carry throughout our lives and how oftentimes that baggage weighs us down and it holds us back. And until we're really ready to let it go, we're never going to find our true happiness, or we're never really going to be free. And so she is, I believe it's sort of a memoir. So I'm really looking forward to reading it. I encourage you guys to follow her, support her, connect with her. She is a woman of color. She is a mom to a beautiful little boy. And she really is one of the most inspirational people that I follow because I feel like we're mirrors to one another. I feel like we're almost on the same path. But the way we deliver our message is different. So if you support me and if you appreciate the work that I do, I think that you all will also appreciate her because she's very open and transparent, and she just gives off good energy, and that's what you want to constantly surround yourself with. Secondly, I want to kind of shout out these two amazing brothers that I've been following on Instagram for quite some time. They have just completed the production of their upcoming film. Let me get the name of this, King of Paper Chasing. And this was produced by Triple Beam Pictures. So I want to give a huge shout out to the original DL and Jason Lanzar Rivera. I believe he stars in the film along with Love and Hip Hop star Tahiri Jose. So they have a screening happening on May 9th in New York City, being hosted by Angela Yee. And it's a good look. Okay, this is one of the things that really make me proud because I've been following both of these young men's journey as it relates to the production and the filming of this movie. And so for me to see it manifest and materialize and to see that they're celebrating its creation really makes me proud of them because they have manifested their dream. And so I just want to give them a huge shout out. And if you can support these brothers as well. They're young filmmakers, they're starting out, they're men of color, and so we have to really support one another. But enough of about that. Hope you all had a great week. I hope that you have actively been working on your goals that you've set for yourself for this year. If you haven't, I want you to take a second and ask yourself why not. I want you to take inventory of all of the things that have prevented you from working towards those goals. And then I want you to create an action plan to get yourself started. We're already in April, guys. The year's halfway over. And so though it's halfway over, you still have about 8 months to do the things that you've set for yourself to do this year. And 8 months, while it's not a long time, it is a long time. It's enough time for you to at least get started. So you don't have to complete all the goals that you've set for yourself this year, but you need to get started and you need to start working towards them. And with that, I really want to get into the main topic of tonight, which is grind season, right? For me, it's always grind season because I'm always working. Like, I'm never not working. It's, I don't know, it's about 9 o'clock here in the New York City tri-state area, and my kids are in bed, and I'm here recording my podcast, right? So I could be relaxing. I could be lounging out on the sofa, watching television. I could be sleeping. There's so many other things that I could be doing, but I choose to work. And the reason I choose to is because I'm so focused on the plan for my life, on my dreams, on really becoming, that Latina Oprah, that I have no time to spare. So I don't have time to lounge around and relax on the sofa. I don't have time to waste. I'm always working. So many of you know that I'm obsessed with Gary Vaynerchuk. And if you listen to his podcast, you know that that's exactly how he says his name. And for short, he calls himself Gary V on all of his social media platforms. But I'm obsessed with Gary V because his work ethic is sick. And he's so committed to his brand and to his business and to growing his business and his brand. And when I look at him, I feel like I'm not working hard enough. I mean, because he's so passionate about what he does. He's so excited. And he tells it like it is. Like, he's not sugarcoating anything, and if you know him, if you're familiar with his work, he will tell you that he is not smarter than anyone. He often says that he was a bad student. He was like a D student, but what separated him from everyone else was his work ethic. He was always grinding. He was always working. And so when I look at him, realistically, I know that I'm working harder than most people, because unlike Gary Vee, I'm a mother, like maybe many of you are, but I'm a mother. And so while he may not have to split his time worrying about who's going to feed the kids, who's going to bathe them, who's going to cook, who's going to do the household chores, these are all things that I have to somehow fit into my schedule. So in addition to working a day job, in addition to working on my passions and my dreams after hours, I also have to figure out during that time, I have to take care of my responsibilities as a mother and as a wife, and sometimes men don't have to worry about these things because they have their wives, or their partners, who are picking up the slack for them. And I talk really candidly about how supportive my husband is. I mean, but it's only but so much, right? Because I can't, in fairness, allow him to do everything, and I still have to be a mother to my girls, So even though there's times when I don't feel like I'm working as hard as he is, because I guess I don't see the results as quickly as I would like to. I know I work hard. And I guess the difference, I guess the way me and Gary are similar is that my mindset is exactly the same as his. And so what I want you guys to start thinking about is, what are you doing with the time you have? Like, every single minute, how are you spending your time? From the minute you wake up to the minute you lay your head on that pillow at night, what have you done throughout your day, and how have you used your time most efficiently, right? And so how are you making sure that you're not bullshitting the time away? And what I mean by that is spending non-value added time on social media, just scrolling through nonsense, posting and commenting on people's status updates that have nothing to do with your work, with your brand, with your career. It takes time to not only write those responses, but to formulate a cohesive thought, and to have and for it to make sense, right? So if you're wasting time doing that, you need to reevaluate your life, and you need to cut that shit out. Plain and simple. Also, when you're working throughout your day, are you working on the most critical items that will push your business and brand forward? I find that a lot of times, yes, we may be busy, yes, we may be working, but we're working on the wrong things. We're working on the things that are not going to have any impact or influence on the things that we want to achieve. So when you think about it, are you really working? To me, that's still a waste of time. So, if you have these spurts, or you're doing these things throughout your day, you have to identify that and then ask yourself, why am I spending so much time on this? What benefit is it really providing me? Because not all work is created equal. So you have to make sure that you're prioritizing. You want to make sure that the things that have the biggest impact, that are going to make or they're going to have the most influence on what you're doing, are the things that you're working on first, and the things that you're working on most. Because although there are other things that may need to get done, they may not be as critical. also there may be things that you can delegate or pass on to someone else to do. So you have to be able to prioritize, you have to be able to delegate. And I get that sometimes we're not as comfortable delegating components of our lives or things that we're responsible for, because we may not trust others to execute the same way that we may execute. But then you have to be able to pass that work on to someone that you do trust to do it as well as you would do it. So don't just make excuses for trying to do everything on your own and making yourself overburdened and overwhelmed and focusing on things that really are not the priority. And one of the things that I'm often asked is, well, how do you make time for everything that you're doing and also may have personal time? And my response is that right now I don't have personal time. All my personal time is allocated to working towards my dreams, working towards creating this empowerment brand, that is focused on showing people that achieving your dreams are possible no matter what age you are, no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are. And so all my free time goes to that. And for a long time, I struggled with trying to carve out time to do different things and to allot to different people and activities. And that just becomes so overwhelming and it becomes really stressful, So when people ask me, about that, I tell them I don't have time to just hang out. I'm busy grinding, and because I'm clear on what I want and I know what I need to do to get there. And one of the things that Gary Vee says a lot is, what are you willing to do to accomplish your dreams? Are you willing to eat shit and work hard, for 2 years of your life so that you can chill for the rest of your life? Or are you gonna just be mediocre and waste all your time hanging out and chilling and then never accomplishing your dreams? Right? And so I'm eating shit right now, basically. I'm working, and I'm working. Because these dreams don't make themselves. Okay, without putting in that dedication and that hard work, your dream is never ever going, to manifest. And so one of the things that I always challenge my clients to do, and the people that I work with, I always ask them, I always challenge them to ask themselves, how bad do I want it? And what am I willing to sacrifice to get it? And so if you're not willing to sacrifice everything for your dream, then you don't want it bad enough. And so that's something that you have to get clear on. And you have to not be sidetracked by what other people are saying. Because one thing I will say is that people who are always hanging out, people who have time to attend every party they're invited to, who can go to every single event that exists, if they have time to engage in every single activity, then they don't have any dreams of their own. Because a person with dreams and a person with ambition is not going to have time or a lot of time to do all of that extracurricular activity. They're not. There are some things that they're going to have to miss. There are going to be some events that they can't go to. There's going to be some situations where they're going to have to say, no, I can't because I'm focused on my dreams. Right? And that's where I am. And that's why for me, it's really important to surround myself with other dreamers. And not just dreamers, but people who are dreaming and who are doing, who are working, who are actively keeping busy, and focused on the manifestation of that dream. And a lot of times the people who are not dreaming and who are not doing are the ones you're going to get the most shit from. Because a person without vision, a person without dreams is never, ever, ever going to understand your work ethic. They're never going to understand why you're grinding. And so you're going to have to distance yourself from those people just for your own sake and your own sanity. Right? Like, I don't have time to hang out. Not right now. Like, hanging out is not my priority right now. Chilling is not my priority right now. Brunching and bouncing and partying and all that, that is not where I'm at right now. I did all of that in my 20s. That's what my 20s were for. My 20s were to party, to enjoy life, to not have any responsibilities, other than myself. And in a way, I regret that I wasted so much time doing that, because had I started in my 20s focusing on my dreams, if I had been clear in my 20s on my purpose, I would be so much farther along now. I'm about to turn 40 next month. So I understand the concept of time. I don't have that much time to get to where I want to get. So I have to grind now. And so do you. So for me, it's like I'm not wasting any energy or time on things that are counterproductive to what I'm trying to do. Also, like, my life right now is at such a good place, and I've worked really hard to create the life that I live right now. And what I mean by that is that I'm at peace. I'm at peace in every single area of my life, in my marriage, in my relationships with the people who are closest to me, in my job, with my children. Like, my life is really pretty easy right now. I have no major worries. For the most part, I'm financially stable. I'm not worrying about how I'm going to pay my bills. My kids are well taken care of. Me and my husband are happy in our marriage. I'm blessed, and my life is pretty easy right now. And so the only hard thing that I'm tackling is trying to get to that finish line, trying to manifest my dream and to become the Latina Oprah, that vision that I've set for myself. That's the hard thing. And it's not that it's hard, but it requires a lot of my time and a lot of my focus. And so right now I don't have the energy or the time to focus on things that are too hard. I know what I want. I know how to get it. And, I've positioned myself to be at a place, like I said, where my home life is great. My day job is stable. And the most important things in my life are stable. On a day-to-day basis, my life is pretty easy. So I only have but so much energy to give to external things that may require more from me. So, becoming the Latina Oprah is not going to happen overnight. I'm building an empowerment brand, and that is where the hard work lies. And it's not easy. So all of my extra time and energy goes into that. I don't have excess energy to give to other things that are hard, because if I focus my energy on these other things that may be hard, then that's taking away from my main focus of my dream. And there's nothing, I'm not allowing anything to get in the middle of that, because there's nothing other than my family that's more important to me right now. And so one of the things that I say all the time is, if it's too hard, it's not worth my time. If it requires too much of my attention, it's not worth my time. Like, at least not right now. Like, I cannot give more focus and energy to external things that are not having a direct impact on my life or my dream or my vision or to where I want to be. So if my own personal relationship with my husband is solid, and to me that's the most important relationship that I have, if that relationship is easy, There's no other relationship that's more important than that. And so there's no other relationship that to me should be hard. So if my marriage isn't hard, no other relationship that I have should be hard. And that's just where I am in my life right now. Because anything that's too hard is taking my focus away from what I'm trying to do. And so this is what I want you to think about also in your life. You have to assess what's worth your time and your energy and what isn't. Because not every single thing requires your attention. There's some shit that you can just say fuck it and let it go. And the reason I say that is because if it's not contributing to the overall plan that you have for your life, then why would you waste time and energy on that? When you can use that time and energy on something that is going to impact and influence your life. You get what I'm saying? So for me, I refuse to give my time and energy to those things that are counterproductive to my growth and to what I'm building. And so it hasn't been an easy realization to come to because I'm human. And so I still struggle with a lot of things. But what I've learned in that process is I've learned to kind of let go. I've learned to let go all of the shit that doesn't serve me. I've learned to let go of the guilt because I think that for a lot of us, that guilt and that feeling of like owing someone is what keeps us stuck in unhealthy relationships. So I've learned to let go of guilt. I've also learned to let go of others' expectations of me, right? Because the reality is we're never going to fully live up to others' expectations of us. They may have high expectations of, they may have low expectations of us. But in the end, ultimately, what matters is what we think of ourselves and what we expect of ourselves. So let go of worrying about what people think about you. What people think about you is none of your business. And that's it. You need to focus on you and what you're trying to do and what you're trying to build. I've also let go trying to please other people. Let me tell you that probably is one of the most liberating things that I have ever done. Once you realize that no one's happiness is more important than your own, it's like a weight being lifted off of your shoulders. Because 9 times out of 10, we can't not make other people happy, right? Happiness is an inside job. So if that person or those people are not happy with themselves, there's nothing that you and I can do to make them happy or to make them change the perception that they have of themselves. So you got to let that shit go. You have to focus on yourself and on trying to please yourself and on getting yourself right. So I let that go. I can't make other people happy. I can only focus on me. I've also learned to let go, explaining my choices and my decisions. What I do with my life is my business. What I decide to do, what I choose to do is nobody else's business but my own. And so I don't feel like I have to explain myself anymore. Because they don't have to get it. They don't have to understand it. They don't even have to accept it. Because it does not affect them. At the end of the day, it's my life. My choices, my life. So if you're one of these people who is constantly trying to defend your actions and defend the things that you do, you need to let that go. All that's going to do is bring you unnecessary stress and drama, and just, you don't need it. And just remember, you owe nobody anything, but you owe yourself everything. Never ever feel bad for choosing yourself. Because those who truly love you and support you and understand your dream and your vision, they get it. And they're going to encourage you and they're going to push you and they're going to lift you up when you feel like giving up. They're going to lift you up when you're feeling down. They're going to lift you up when you doubt yourself. All right, so these are the people that you need in your corner, not the ones who are constantly trying to make you second guess yourself. So don't feel bad for putting your all into your work, because the goal is not to work so hard forever. The goal is to get to where you want to get to establish that foundation, to make your dream come true, and then create the structure, a team that is going to help sustain that vision and that it's going to help you take it to the next level. Okay, so I want to close this this podcast tonight by asking you, how hard are you really working? Be honest with yourself. Really think about your day. Think about what you're doing throughout your day. Think about every minute. Think about the kinds of conversations you're having. Think about how you're feeding your mind. What's your personal development plan like? Right? I'm constantly reading. I'm constantly seeking out self-help books. I listen to self-help personal development podcasts. I'm always feeding my brain with positivity. I'm always surrounding myself with people who are on the same path as me, because winners hang out with winners. I don't want to be with someone who is not about shit, because you're not going to pass that about shit mentality to me. Like, I don't want no parts of that. I don't want that energy around me. I don't need it. Me, I'm always working. I get on average, and that's on a good night, about 5 hours of sleep. I wake up at 5 a.m. and go to bed around midnight. And then the remaining 18 hours, I'm working. And I'm working hard. There's times when I have to make plans with friends months in advance just so we can see each other. In fact, I haven't seen my best friend in months. I can't even remember the last time I saw her. And we've been planning since January to get together, and we haven't been able to find a date that works for both of us. And so, should we wait so long to see each other? Probably not. But we both understand that life happens and we're both busy, and so we make up for that and we compensate by texting and talking on the phone and stalking each other on social media, and eventually, we'll see each other sometime this year before the year is over. But we don't have time to sulk over it. We don't live near each other. She's busy with her life. I'm busy with mine. And she gets it. And she supports me and I support her. And so I'm grateful for people like her who understand and who don't hold it against me. So I want to leave you with this. Again, how hard are you really working? And how much time are you truly devoting to your dreams? I want you to think about that. I would love to hear from you. So shoot me an email, shoot me a DM on Instagram. You can inbox me on Facebook. Anything. Let's engage. I want you to really get focused and get clear on what your purpose is, on what your dreams are, and how much are you grinding? How hard are you working to ensure that your dreams come true? So until next time, mi gente, I will leave you with that. Thank you again for tuning in this week. And until next week, crush some goals, guys.